Hey guys, Desolator Magic here. And if you thought, oh, Des is milking this story, no, there legitimately is way more information that came out and it is going to blow your mind. And also, if you think everybody's blowing it out of proportion, on the main Magic subreddit, Magic TCG, this is the third highest upvoted post of all time. Now, I gotta lead with number 2 is I'm Jerry Thompson, a professional Magic player, and I'm protesting the state of professional Magic by refusing to play in the World Championship from 5 years ago. That one was controversial. The first step was Wizards of the Coast did not pay professional players a living wage. That's because they didn't hire you and it's a contest and it's supposed to be a hobby, not a job. Go get your own sponsorship and make content. I've made $117,553.63, not counting sponsorships, and I haven't stepped foot inside of a tournament. Remember from the LGS from Hell series where I said I absolutely shut down someone when I said, okay, you won, 30 packs, this quarter, this rotation? And your deck was, 350, 400? I won 12 packs and my deck is $18. Who really won? Who really won more? Who really, quote, did better? You've said you only play for money. Who really came out ahead? Who really took the wiser path? Anyway, before this becomes the Jerry Thompson video, again, the number one most upvoted post of vendors selling cards from 6 years ago somebody posted a vendor with this sign. For an additional $4.95, I will provide a receipt that matches what you told your wife you paid. And the title was How to Get Rich Selling Singles at a GP. Remember when GPs existed? By the way, the number 5 post is a joke about Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG. So yes, I would say that this is a, quote, big story. So let's get into the developments after we had a little fun here. Shout out to Gizmodo. Go check out the entire article. It's a lot bigger than what I'm covering here, and they did amazing actual investigation, actual reporting, actual journalism. Not journalism TM. I'm covering games, but I really just want to bitch about politics in the world and everything. So, WOTC made a statement. Pinkerton didn't. At least not to Gizmodo, as far as I heard. Nobody got a statement out of those dickbags. All right, another big fact. Let's just lead with this one. Robin M. Klimek, Director of Security Risk Management at Hasbro, which I think is part of the investigations team. In fact, I think we've actually heard from Robin before. Well, they've been there for 12 years, but guess what they did before that? You'll never guess. Like, you actually might not, but according to LinkedIn, they worked for the Pinkertons. They were the Director of Supply Chain Security Practice. Whatever that is. Sounds fancy. But yeah, it was for Pinkerton Consulting and Investigations, not some other Pinkertons that do oil changes. I don't know. Also, the current manager of Global Investigations, which that I know is part of the investigations team, is also a former Pinkerton agent. That's weird. Hey, you guys know how, giant big pharma has somebody, work there for, 10, 20 years, and then all of a sudden they're like, I'm retiring. Oh, I changed my mind, but I'm going to go work for, the FTC, the FDA, and every other alphabet boy fraternity. And then everybody's like, well, that's crooked as hell. And they usually get caught doing stuff crooked as hell, but the president doesn't care because they took money from them. And yeah, remember that? Yeah, this sounds like that. This is the same thing, but less bad. Still pretty bad, though. I mean, it could just be I wanted a change of careers and this looked like a step up, which, really? And then you turn around and hire your own people? Look, sometimes that's fine. Sometimes you're like, I know them, they do good work, but, some of the other times it's the Pinkertons, and that can't be true. Now, the title of the article is The Magic, quote, Raid, because it kind of wasn't the first time Wizards of the Coast hired the Pinkertons. Yes, they were sent to retrieve some other, I believe, actually stolen property, which means WOTC just didn't do some little one-off, first one in the phone book, whatever. And plus, I think based on my opening statements here, we know that's not true. I think they've got some connections there. Well, everybody's been reaching out to Dan Cannon, aka OldSchoolMTG, and owner of massively manly name. And someone called IO9, I don't know what that is, claimed that he stated, and I quote, as soon as my wife answered the door, they aggressively asked for me by my full name, announced themselves as the Pinkerton Agency, which I am very familiar with the reputation, and said they were there to recover, quote, stolen goods. After his wife asked them to wait outside, Cannon says that they forced themselves at least partially through the door and prevented her from closing the door all the way. In the majority of US states, that is when you can shoot someone. You better have a darn good lawyer and some footage of them doing it, and a prosecutor who actually knows what the laws are and doesn't just ask for your skin color and orientation and then litigate based on that. So in other words, a DA, I should say, that wasn't funded by George Soros. But in that case, yeah, somebody basically tries to force themselves in. You maybe can give them a warning and look a little better, but yeah, you try that shit. You make 1 foot through the door of my house, you are getting a gun pulled on you bare minimum. And I would not recommend drawing from the drop. I would recommend running. I got plus P's in that bitch. We ain't playing. So then, Mr. Cannon says he eventually got to the door and assertively moved everyone outside. I think he should have at least assertively pepper sprayed the shit out of them. You want to talk about winning? People probably wearing body armor, probably with guns, possibly visible depending upon where it was. Trying to step into a house and then you're the homeowner and they're the ones rolling around on the lawn, like rubbing their eyes. Who the hell do you think the cops are going to arrest? I'm just saying. And then they find out it's the Pinkertons and might as well just throw them in jail. Don't even ask for witness statements. Just be like, oh, yep, all right. And then the investigators are like, what did you do? Or did you like jump a bounty? Or no, I opened Magic the Gathering cards on the internet. Aggressively? No. Calmly. Yes. Throw the book at the Pinkertons. So apparently he told the agents that they needed to treat the Cannons with more respect. God, I wish this guy knew laws better. And they did eventually dial it back and become more civil after that, he says. So, and it sounds like, yeah, and they were just like, from then on, I guess, politely asking, can we have that back? But also like being coercive and very like, oh, you're in trouble now, you better do this. Making statements that they could have seen as true, and that's why this whole lawsuit thing is like almost impossible to win. But yeah, at some point, Cannon said that the treatment by the agents made his wife cry. I would have been like, we going back inside, come back with a warrant, bye-bye. Like I said, I wish he knew laws better, but I guess I'm the only one who spends, a little bit of time per day watching like ASP and all the different interactions and laws and studying that kind of stuff and all the classes I had to take to get my concealed carry permit. So here's the funny thing. WOTC made a statement. They strongly refute this depiction of events. Let me stop right there, WOTC. Bitch, were you there? No, you were not. Oh, you're strongly refuting it because the Pinkerton said so. Well, their word is as good as nothing. They're as shady as you lefty assholes. So yes, it contradicts both the report from the investigation as well as the conversation between the individual and Wizard of the Coast representative after the interaction in question. Maybe he just didn't bring it up. Maybe he was trying to be cordial and de-escalate because of all the threats. Because he did say basically, to paraphrase in his second video, well, now I'm pissed. Like, now that stepped over the line. When he found out that they, like, went and intimidated his neighbors, basically, too. And his neighbors are elderly. We're like, what the hell's going on? I don't think the Pinkertons roll up like Jehovah's Witnesses, okay? I don't think they're wearing their button-downs and all that. They probably had, like, the fake police vests and the, the stupid douchey FBI hats and, without the letters, but the black hat, Like, it's like a baseball cap, but it's all black, and it's like, instead of, hitting a baseball with a bat, you're just gonna go beat some ass. It's like, it's the hat version of a wife beater. Maybe they even had Fed Boy shorts on, You just take a scissors and a sewing machine to some overpriced dress khakis. I could look up pictures of Pinkerton agents. I could type that phrase right now into Google, but we all know I'm not gonna, because whatever I'm seeing in my head right now is way more entertaining. Now, the other thing is, like, throw them under the bus, it wasn't us, okay? So the second part of the statement from WOTC was, under no circumstances will we instruct any employee or contracted agency to intimidate an individual. Well, they did intimidate, coerce, and lie to, actually, and exaggerate and other things, but none of that or them trying to step through the door was caught on video. I got cams inside my house, closed circuit, private, offline, no cloud, battery backup, plus solar, plus an alarm system. Independent batteries. That's about 1/3 of what I've got. So yeah, I mean, their argument was you're in possession of stolen property. And yeah, that's what they kept using. Well, it's like, well, you don't know that and you weren't presenting, it sounds like, although it's not on camera or tape, or zeros and ones on flash memory. Okay, I'm old. That it might be stolen and they would like it back. It was like, oh, $200,000, legal fees, prison. Give them back now. They also claim copyright infringement, with that's pretty loose. And he'd be facing 1 to 10 years in jail. Ooh. That's the maximum penalty if you basically like ripped off a giant Hollywood movie before it came out and sold it on the streets and made $100 million, okay? That's the max penalty for a copyright infringement, not somebody kind of showed your art and didn't sell it or reproduce it in any way, and you weren't harmed in any way, and it was transformative, and it was a different media on a non-sold product. And pictures of sold products are allowed outside of France. Look it up. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can just go and kind of threaten people, try to step into their house and then lie to them. That does seem like a little much, so he might have a little more of a lawsuit here. But none of it was recorded. So their explanation, allegedly, for showing up, abruptly without like a nice polite phone call is one, because that's not how they do things in my opinion, and two, by their own admission, they, quote, didn't want to call me before showing up because they didn't want me to have time to react and get rid of the cards. Oh, perfectly reasonable, legitimate. These guys are playing mind games, dude. I would have told them, look, I opened it. I already deleted the video. Wink, wink. And I sold them to, and then just insert the last home address of the last person to piss me off for threatening me. The overwhelming majority of you people trying that shit on my channel, I have your personal information. Some of you I've already taken action against. One of you's already in jail. Shouldn't have done that with warrants. Is this a good time to mention I'm the head of IT security for a multi-million-dollar company? So once again, to confirm, he did not also get a call from WOTC first saying, hey, where'd you get those? Those are, we'll give you 20 grand worth of products if you take down the video, which would do nothing. The pictures are already out there. I had already covered it. Come on. But like, it would be nice, and ask nicely, then send the muscle, or just don't do that because you screwed up. Trace it to the distributor first. Don't blame him first. And try to like threaten your way up the thing and kind of, oh, what is he, a drug dealer? You're getting him to flip on his dealer? Like, come on, what is this bullshit? Trace it back first and don't blame like a random dude on the internet opening it without evidence. If you had evidence that like, oh, our warehouse was broken into and it's 100 miles from where he lives. Okay, then send someone. In fact, send the police. The fact that they sent the Pinkertons means one, it's because the Pinkertons work there now, and two, it's because they knew this was a load of crap and they wanted them to use typical Pinkerton tactics. Come on. The lawsuit against WOTC is actually looking a little bit better. And no company this big, with that many secrets, with that much screwed up stuff in their history, ever wants to go to Discovery. Discovery is where you go get their whole damn email server, basically, and just start looking through it for whatever you think's relevant to the case. And if something gets leaked in the meantime, well, maybe it was you, maybe it was your lawyer, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it was a Russian hacker. Who knows? The left loves to blame them. They're the boogeyman. So, I don't know the exact timeline, but when he got a hold of the WOTC employee, whoever this is, and I would love to know who it was. I mean, if he wanted to share the number with me, I could find out who owns it real quick. Probably a WOTC extension number, which means it's probably publicly listed. They claim that they tried to call him on Friday. Now, I don't know the exact timeline of when this happened, but that may have been ahead, but because it was an unlisted number. So WOTC calling him from an unlisted number. Why? When they sent the Pinkertons to give him their actual number, why were you trying to hide your number? I'm not sure that tracks. And if they just lied, they better settle. I don't know if you knew this or not, but since like the 80s, you can like track call logs. They can find out if he got a phone call or not from an unlisted number. Subpoenas to cell phone companies are very difficult, but you can do it. But yeah, they claim, oh, Mr. Cannon did not pick up. And Cannon fires back with, pun intended, the WOTC employee, if this did happen, did not leave a voicemail or send an email. But he does say that when they finally talked on the phone, they did ask like what magic cards he might be interested in. But then, if you recall in the video, promised him absolutely nothing. Didn't give him a tracking number. Just like, oh, we'll see what we can do. Okay, bye. It's pretty much the gist of what I got. So, wow, this is looking worse. No wonder this news story is blowing up. It's not just weird, quirky story. It's like, whoa, big, evil, awful company that everybody hates lately doing a bad thing. I mean, people could just start like listing off the laundry list of crazy crap they've done. The lawsuits, the mythic editions, the ripoffs, the scams, the manipulation of numbers and inventory, and the landfill cards. Who knows what happened with those? Then you got the D&D crap. Then you got the pedophile that they hired to be head of story, which I believe they fired 2 women to hire. You could say that's awfully hypocritical and against their brand and message, but no, hiring weirdos and perverts is kind of what they do. But yeah, firing the women to replace them with a man, yeah, I can see that. So WOTC's all saying, oh, we initiated several phone calls, now it's several, to the individual in order to make contact, though we understand why he would be reluctant to answer an unknown number. Yeah, I literally just answered one today because I had to file a police report. Don't even get me started. Last week. You know what? Let's get into that for a second. One of you viewers works for the post office. I don't remember who. If it's you, contact me. That's all I'm going to say. I need a little favor. Anyway, they're like, oh, he was reluctant to answer an unknown number. When we're unable to make contact by phone, local contractors were asked to try to make contact and request help in the investigation. Wow. What, if that ain't a flowery version of what happened, my God. That was written by a PR person. So, but guys, it was including the return of the product, which can aid in our investigation. I mean, they did want the serial numbers. That does make sense. But look, when you bought something and they have reason to kind of think it was stolen, it's a very gray area, but I think you need a police report to go get it back. And then it kind of goes to evidence and gets resolved. And I don't think they could get the warrant, the subpoena, the anything. I don't think they'd even get the damn police report filed if they're just like, well, it might be stolen. What evidence do you have? It's not out yet. Yeah, but what evidence do you have? Well, none. There were no break-ins. No distributors reported anything going missing. Okay, well then let me just rip up this police report. Call back when you want to not waste our time. I guess WOTC also made a statement saying that they offered to replace all of the unreleased product with correct released cards. Not promised. Not already did, not it's in the mail, not 2-to-1, not compensation for anything. Remember, this is $2,000 to $4,000 worth of cards. Yeah. You come trying to force your way through my door and then demand $4,000 worth of stuff that I bought with my own money that isn't stolen, and you have probably a tactical looking vest, possibly body armor, and probably a gun on you. I am 100% shooting your ass and then suing everybody involved. The distributor, the store, WOTC, the Pinkertons, everybody's getting sued in that case. You want to talk about statutory trauma minimums? Holy shit. Now there's another thing to throw in here. Cannon said he didn't think that much of it because YouTubers frequently show off boxes and products that they got early. Now, yeah, that's usually secret layers, but occasionally it's not. So he just thought, I don't know, now these were available for sale. I don't know. Who can keep up with WOTC's just ridiculous releases? And then the moving and the delaying and who the hell knows? And now there is no street date. That's another thing. Boy, if this went to court, he would just obliterate them on certain points. In fact, okay, here we go. WOTC's own statements have said that a shop can sell products whenever it arrives. Before the pre-release, during the pre-release, after the pre-release, before the official release date, whenever the product arrives at your door, you can sell it. They have publicly said that, and as far as I know, have not changed that policy since. So the distributor accidentally sent a product to the store sold it. Nobody did anything wrong. WOTC knows it, they still did this. This was the action they took. After calling from a blocked number instead of their own damn line that would, caller ID to WOTC. Come on. They are starting to look so liable in this. I completely take back, I guess not the conclusion or the information in my last video was all accurate, but now that this came to light, I'm reversing that. He should sue them and he's going to win. He's going to get a settlement. Not even win. It's not going to court. They're just going to pay him money. Even if they think they can win, how bad would that look? And then it's the media again. How many millions of dollars in losses do you think they're going to get after this where people are like, this is the final straw, I'm done. I'm not giving these assholes any more of my money. They need to pay him shut up money right now with an agreement to shut up. Sealed settlement is what it's called. Oh shit, it's Dat Boy. And he's on the way to the bank because he's about to get paid. So WOTC refused to comment on Cannon's version of how he got the cards because they know that nothing they could say would benefit them in any way, and just say, quote, what happened leading up to this individual receiving the cards is still under investigation. It would suck if they turned out to be stolen and the store owner was lying, but why would he sell them to someone? That doesn't add up. Let me just give it as an example. Remember that Australian company or the store who got shipped the cards on accident, I believe it was, and they just went on live stream and opened them, and WOTC was threatening, and then people were like, shut up, WOTC. You're the ones who screwed up. And all they did was suspend them from the, from buying and selling MTG products, at least for their new ones. You can't stop somebody from selling something. And then ban them from the official played WPN network for 6 whole months or a year or whatever. Oh boy. Yeah, if a store got a hold of them, they'd know what they had and they wouldn't sell it. I think Canon's version of events works. I think that's the most logical here. It's the most simplistic and it's most consistent. So once again, Canon reiterated, a simple phone call or email from Wizards of the Coast and I would have cooperated. So let me just extrapolate, because he did mention this before. Maybe they should have left a voicemail. And then he even said, there was absolutely no need to send such a notorious agency to my house to frighten my wife and threaten us. Well, there is if, 2 people arguably in the division that handles this kind of crap at WOTC used to work for him. I wonder if they're getting a kickback. I wonder if they would want this to go to Discovery. Huh, that would be fun. What if they got a commission? What if they're getting audited? What if they're getting rated to see if there's piles of, what do they call that? Not unregistered, I don't know. Unreported assets in large numbers laying around the house. I wonder. So the Gizmodo article points out that there really is no need to ask for the physical cards back. And if you think about it, they've already been digitized. They're already on the internet. Like 70% of the dang set was spoiled. Can't put that horse back in the barn. Can't put the genie back in the bottle. And you probably can't put the horse in the bottle or the genie back in the barn either. Welcome to the internet, where people can copy, paste, and forward things. They could have tracked the origin of the product using the foil wrappers, and if they really thought they were stolen, they would have sent the police. This was all because they knew damn well how they operate, and because 2 of the people used to work there. That looks so bad, both legally and morally for WOTC. It's like one of the biggest black eyes I've ever seen, and they have massively screwed up in like D&D lately and MTG. Remember the old OGL? Yeah, people went original gangsta license on them, and they're like, we'll make our own thing. You literally sell nothing. Now shut up and stop trying to be so greedy, because Hasbro wants more money because all of their investments failed except for WOTC. All of their acquisitions are garbage, and their board is a bunch of ass clowns who should not have their jobs there. So a normal company would have been like, hey, we're just, wondering, I'm leaving a voicemail, calling from a real number, whether you pick up, call us back at your leisure, or email, contact me whenever, this is a big deal, I'll be sure to pay you lots of attention because we want to get to the bottom of this, not accusing you of anything, but we want to know where you got these, just, because it's not released yet. And we just want to see, what went wrong so it doesn't happen twice, call us back. Hey, could you just give us, the serial number off one of the boxes? Okay, thanks, bye. That's what a normal company would have done. But Captain Dickbags are like, well, we can't get a stolen thing from the police. We can't get a warrant or nothing because we know we're in the wrong and they probably aren't stolen. So go intimidate him and do and say whatever you want. Talk to his neighbors and scare his wife and his dog until he gives them back. Tell him all about copyright law. Copyright law. Big scary copyright law. Boy, I really hope the name of these 2 Pinkerton people gets released to the public in a police report or something. That would be really bad for their reputations online and their careers. So the title of the article. The Magic Raid wasn't the first time Wizards of the Coast hired the Pinkertons. I'm saving that juicy morsel for the end. Hopefully you stuck out for it, because this is a journey. I am memeing on this so hard while actually being legitimately mad. It's like hungry plus angry hangry, except I'm entertained / tickled / raging. Trickle-traging. I don't know what I'm doing. By the way, the Gizmodo author, Absolute Savage, just randomly puts in here, I gotta add this because it's too good before I reveal the ending here. All these actions were pretty unnecessary when a normal company would have just solved this with a letter from a lawyer. Or like Cannon says, a phone call and a voicemail from a real number. All right, when did the Pinky Boys go to get another product? Well, let's rewind the clock to 2017. The source on this is, quote, sources who don't want to share their names for fear of retribution by Wizards of the Coast. They say, hey, Pinkerton employees were sent out to investigate the theft of an uncut sheet of foil cards from the then upcoming major expansion, Ixalan. Remember that one? I think that was the one where I said, what did they do? Roll it up and shove it up their ass, because I believe it was found out to be one of the printing facility people who just grabbed a stack of them bastards and then put them on Craigslist. It was the funniest shit. Just out there, and then people in the city are like, Don't think you're supposed to have those, and unlike this, there is one place you're going to get a stack of like 15 uncut foil sheets, and that's the printing facility. You absolute criminal mastermind moron. This was the one I think where WOTC, I know they made a statement, but I think this wasn't the leak where they were like, they just went off on the community and got absolutely like bitch slapped in the face by response, where they're like, no, it doesn't ruin anything. It doesn't lose you money. It's just timing. You're just mad. So shut the hell up. But this might have been that. I don't know. There's so many WOTC screw ups. I can't keep them all straight. I would need to run like a local wiki database with like keyword tagging and just, I can't. But there was a statement from Scott Kelly, and this has been removed, but there's an archive version. Oh wait, there's an archive version. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, this was the fairly polite one actually. Okay. Yeah, Scott Kelly and Blake Rasmussen were actually like pretty chill with that one. I think Hour of Devastation was the one where they went off and then got absolutely backlashed. Yeah, I used it as a verb, try and stop me. So with that incident, in that article, they claimed that they worked with a number of groups and individuals, including private investigators who specialize in supply chain, cybersecurity experts, and local law enforcement. Well then, why did you only send the Pinkertons this time instead of law enforcement? Is it because you knew they weren't stolen? And you knew it wasn't really copyright infringement? And you knew it was all BS? Because that's what it sounds like. There's precedent. There's establishment. Oh, this is going to just... It's nasty if this goes to court. They might as well just settle right now. Just write the check. So the anonymous sources that don't want retaliation from WOTC basically identified themselves, so I don't feel too bad. They say the person in that case tried to go to a store and sell them the uncut sheet. Obviously, the store was like, that's not released yet. That's obviously stolen property. So they declined and then called Wizards of the Coast to report it. They're like, hey, somebody's just like stolen these from a printing facility, obviously, and they tried to sell them to us, just FYI. And who shows up? The source alleges that a Pinkerton detective came to the store and began conducting interviews with the staff. During these interviews, the agent said that Wizards of the Coast had a lot of these sorts of problems. Yup. Yeah, yes, they do. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, obviously. Anyway, and the Pinkertons had been used, quote, multiple times to help solve this. Oh, that's right. This isn't the first time or the second time. This is the holy crap, this happens all the time. But see, that was an investigator. That was like a PI. That was like a detective, like a fake detective, because to get that title, you have to actually be one. And like actually work for the police and like pass a drug test. And anyway, so the timeline is Pinkerton people come over, high-level people from Pinkerton come over, work for WOTC. They hire the Pinkertons for a whole bunch of investigations because they used to work there. And then who knows what happened in all those cases, because in these cases they did this. They sent people with that type of strategy and that type of agenda. Come on. You can't say that this division and those people with that type and that job and that position, and then the like descriptions of how they conducted themselves, that you didn't know as former Pinkerton employees and executives, basically, that's what they would do. That you had no idea that they would go that way, and you're completely disputing that timeline of events. Because their company reputation is so good. Yeah, I don't think when people see the Pinkertons, they're like, oh, yes, I'd love to buy some Girl Scout cookies. No. I'd be like, oh, you're the Pinkertons. Well, bye. And if they try and keep me from closing the door in their face, then I'm going to draw on a bitch. I don't know if it's just my personality, but everybody in the comment section was basically like, they could come try and intimidate D's nuts, okay? Y'all were getting way more rowdy and violent and without full knowledge of the law in my comment section and playing like internet tough guy, even more than I do. Except I'm not playing. I used to work security, twice actually, and kickbox. And I believe there is footage on my YouTube channel, obviously, of me taking out a stack of magic cards at 25 yards with a 9mm short barrel pistol in one shot. With no cuts in the footage. Oh my god, I forgot about the throwing knife video. That one was pretty funny. That was trolling Travis Wu pretty hard. Be honest, you didn't think I was going to put one square into the middle of that card at the end. You thought I was just playing, right? I don't play on this channel. Oh, except for April Fools and the meme remix playlist. Oh my gosh, I absolutely do screw with you guys. So that's about all we know from now. Subscribe if you want the follow-up, which will be probably announcement of a settlement or a lawsuit. I can't imagine what else it would be. I think WOTC's done making statements about this because they're just digging deeper. They're just burying themselves. There is really nothing they could say because they're like, we didn't tell the Pinkertons to do that. And we dispute the account of what happened. Well, but then it's the Pinkertons, so shut up and you're just covering for yourself. Like, there's nothing they could say. Are they going to apologize? Well, okay, so you call the Pinkertons every time somebody like farts out a spoiler one day early. They probably called the Pinkertons to investigate their own staff leaking them and making it look like a leak, but it was really a marketing stunt, which they've been all but proven of doing at least twice. They took a picture of some leaked cards on what really appeared to be the table in the lobby of WOTC headquarters. You can't get any stupider than that. No, maybe it was somebody who pocketed them and wanted to make it out the door with them, and I don't know. But I do know the timing was very suspicious on that. So I guess in summary, I mean, what else is there to say other than screw the Pinkertons and screw WOTC? Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.